Hi, everyone. My name is Lynette Solis, and this is Trisha Boyson. We are both working on the lightning rounds. My topic is instructional delivery tools, and Trisha's is engagement. So we are going to go ahead and go over a little bit of information about what our project consists of. So for mine, we have the problem. So educators are looking for technology that is free and provides them with tools to utilize in their classrooms. We have the instructional design of my project, which is the implementation of instructional technologies to enhance the delivery of asynchronous instruction. So really the goal is to kind of provide educators with tools that they can use to record videos, screencasts, even create presentations, any tools that they can use basically for instructional delivery. The solution here is that educators will be able to present materials in multiple ways to reach their audiences. They can be used in virtual and in-person settings. So for the target audience for this project are educators of all levels looking for instructional technologies and do not have a wide knowledge of free tools available to them. And then these tools can be used for people with various knowledge and experience with technology. The problem context is the design will focus on engagement and implementation, as well as meeting the instructional technology needs of educators. And then the actual optimal performance is to introduce educators to tools that can be utilized to create collaborative learning environments where students are engaged in learning in collaboration with teaching standards and best practices. So my goal clarification, it says within the last few years, there has been a huge shift in education due to the pandemic. Educators have turned toward technology to keep students engaged and to encourage collaboration between students. Education has turned towards technology even within the testing parameters used nowadays. So like STAR test has really gone online. And so a lot of educators are trying to get their students used to doing things online or virtually. Teachers can do this in multiple ways by the presentation of the content and the accessibility features of the presented materials. Then I have my instructional goal, and it says the goal for this module is for educators to be able to design authentic learning activities for students with the use of instructional delivery tools. So after our meeting on, let's say, was it Saturday morning? Our meeting Saturday morning, I kind of went with the idea of creating a module that talks about what is instructional delivery, what are some tools that could be used, how they compare to other tools, and then how you could use them in your classroom and providing educators with resources that they could use. So with my learning outcomes, I decided to go with one of them being define what instructional delivery is, identify important features of instructional delivery tools. So having educators be able to identify what are important features for themselves or features to look for. Then we have demonstrate understanding of instructional delivery tools, identify different instructional delivery tools and their uses, review different tools and resources utilized for instructional delivery, and describe plans to utilize in the classroom. So my goal is kind of just to introduce them with a little bit of research about what instructional delivery is, and then kind of give them 3 tools. So I was thinking about talking about Google Slides, Canva, and PowerPoint, and how those 3 kind of relate. And then for resources, kind of giving like a blog, a journal entry, and maybe a video for them to use. So for goal analysis, I kind of just took those and created this chart, kind of showing that these were the steps to get to our goal. And for this one, I took the standards, the ISTE standards, and kind of mapped it out with what my module looked like. So the main standard is educators design authentic activities that recognize learner variability. And then I have 2.5A, where educators use technology to create and adapt learning experiences. So from there, I said, does the educator know what instructional delivery is? So if yes, then they could move on to the module 2 part, which gets them really into the different tools. If they don't, then I have module 1, which is the defining instructional delivery. So then we go on to the next part, which is 2.5B. Educators design authentic learning activities using digital tools. So that's the delivery tools and their affordances. And then from there, so after they watch that module, they decide on the standards that they want to teach, and they decide on which tool would work best for them. And then they go to 2.5C, where educators explore and apply instructional design principles that support learning. So they watch module 3, the instructional delivery references and promising practices. They try to implement a desired instructional delivery tool, and then they test and see if the tool worked as how they thought it would, or if they don't really like it and want to try something else. So if it did work, success, now try creating a different lesson. If it didn't, then they go back to 2 and kind of see if one of those other tools work better for them. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at in this project. Do you have any thoughts?
I think you did a great job with your planning here, especially with the chart. I think it's really very readable and relevant. I think that also goes for your goal clarification. It's definitely current and relevant for the circumstances that the educators are dealing with these days. I also like your Bloom's taxonomy verbs that you used in your outcomes. Those are really, really good, very commendable there. And I, especially from the get-go, I like how you've been wanting to incorporate Canva. I use Canva myself, and I think that they're really improving and really offering educators a lot more features and tools that will make things definitely something that we're going to want to use in the classrooms for sure. So I think that you're well on your way for a great project. So
Thank you.
good.
All right, you want to go ahead and share yours?
Sure. Can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
I need to make it bigger. Okay. So again, Lynette and I both met Saturday morning along with a couple others and talked about the project. And so Lynette's focusing on instructional delivery. My focus is more on engagement. And so again, the problem is, considering the current trends, 21st century education needs, we need the instructors, the educators to understand and to be able to use the tools that are available to engage their students and to make the lessons engaging. And so my project will include a definition for engagement, and the target audience is obviously for educators, specifically pre-service and in-service educators, and to be able to design and focus on engaging students as well as meeting the instructional needs for the learner. So focusing on engaging tools and the definition of engaging according to the Hattie and yeah, let's see, we had
I think it was Hattie and Marzanaro?
Marzano. It's Hattie.
Marzano, there we go.
My mind went blank. Okay, Hattie and Marzano. And so the learning outcomes, the students will be able to define the research-based definition of engagement with respect to instructional lessons. In Module 1, we'll define engagement with respect to the instructional lessons based on the research of Hattie and Marzano. And I'll use some sort of Qualtrics for a summative questionnaire. And moving through the project after definition, then we'll break into the engaging tools and being able to show them the tools and how they can incorporate those in the lesson plans. And then promising practices will be the 3 parts for the projects and the 3 separate modules, which will go up on the Light site. And so that's pretty much the project in and of itself. 3 mini modules that are about 10 minutes each module to cover the definition of for myself, engagement. For Lynette, it would be instructional delivery. And the second module would be on the actual tool features and affordances. And the third part is the promising practices. So that's where we're heading.
Sounds good. So I really liked the way you mapped it out on your goals and your learning outcomes. If you can scroll back up just a little.
Where are we going here?
To your learning outcomes.
Tell me when.
A little higher.
Here?
Above that, right there. So Qualtrics, I did not think about that. I'm over here like Google Polls or Google Forms. I can do that. So yes, that's a good tool right there, the Qualtrics. And if we both use it, that would be really good for to like kind of keep it uniformed, right?
Yes.
I really liked.
Well, I'm open to the Google Forms too. I just didn't want you thinking that I was copying. So.
Oh no, we're happy to work together. We're doing our stuff's very similar, but we're doing 2 different things.
Okay.
But if they kind of look the same, then I think that's really good. What's Lumio?
Lumio, I need to get more into Lumio, but it is, they have a lot of different, options for the educators, and it actually replaces, I think it was the, what was it that it replaces?
I'm like kind of seeing like in my head, but I don't remember what it is.
Is it SLSO or what was it called? It used to be called another Smart Learnings. I think it was SLSO, and it went to Lumio. Are you looking it up?
I am. Okay.
Wasn't it?
It was Smart Learning Suite Online.
Yeah, SLSO, right.
That's cool. That'd be an interesting one to see.
So
yeah, I really liked the way you the students will be able to, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't wrote learning objectives in a little while. So that was, yeah, you did a really good job.
Thanks.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll wait and see what everybody else says.